you are. Welcome back to my backyard, to the roaster. I'm feeling a little under the weather on this windy day, but I'm not going to let that stop me from roasting because I love it. So, fruity beans have been on my mind. Last week I was in Chicago and I brought home some Colombian beans from one of my favorite roasters, Intelligentsia. And I got home and opened that bag up and I was blown away at how fruity they smelled. And I said, oh my goodness, this is a very specific smell. It smelled like chocolate-covered cherries or chocolate-covered orange sticks that you'd eat at Christmas time. And while that was pretty exciting, and it made me think, boy, I wish I could roast some fruity beans. So I've roasted Colombian beans in the past, but I've just never really liked them. They've just been kind of flavorless. So it really surprised me to taste Colombian beans that had some really bright, fruity flavors in them. So I have here some organic beans from Colombia. We're going to roast them, and hopefully I can get some fruity flavors out of them. I'm nervous, but I'm going to try. So let's load them up. And we're on our way. So my strategy today is a little different than normal. Usually I like to go low and slow, and I've found that brings out some really nice toasty flavors. But those fruit flavors have a tendency to boil off if the bean's in there too long. So I'm actually going to go hot and fast today. And the hope is that I can get these roasted quickly and hold on to some of those fruity flavors before they cook off. And I'm a little nervous because in the past when I've done this, they've just come out sour. And I don't want sour, I want sweet and fruity. So I've turned off the gas and I'm soaking the beans now and waiting for that turning point when they start to get hot again. It just happened. So I'm going to turn my heat back on. I'm going to leave my airflow where I normally have it, but the big difference is that my heat, I've cranked as hot as it'll go. Normally I'm roasting beans and I'm pulling them around 13 to 14 minutes. Hopefully today I can pull them between like 10 and 12, shorten that by about 2 minutes. But we'll see. I haven't roasted Colombian beans in a really long time. Every bean's different. Just going to do my best. 2.5 minutes time, and the beans just hit 200 degrees. They're climbing quickly, that's a good sign. And we'll just give them a few minutes to heat up. So I got out a little later than normal today. I usually like to roast in the morning, or sometimes I'll roast really late at night. The weather was nice, just windy, and the sun's setting behind me, so hopefully we'll get these done before it gets too dark. The wind doesn't really bother me though. It can be scary, but I do find it to be peaceful. And I'm really lucky in my backyard. There are a lot of trees, a lot of leaves, and so when the wind does blow, you hear it. You hear it through all the leaves and all the trees. I do love watching the sunset over the mountains. It's interesting. Normally when you look at the sun, you look towards it, but the mountains face the sun here, so I love to look at the mountains and watch the shadows rise over them as the sun goes down. I guess I never really thought about how I watch the sunset behind me, but all right, so we're 6 minutes in, and we've hit 300 degrees. The beans are starting to turn yellow, which is a good sign. It looks like if we can keep this pace up, we'll probably approach first crack around the 8.5 minute mark, which is good. I think that means we've achieved a fast roast. But have we achieved a fruity roast? We won't know till we're tasting the bean. Now the scent of the beans starting to fill the air. I don't even have to pull the sampler to smell it. I can smell it. I always worry that the bean smell is going to fill the neighborhood and be too strong. The smell of the roast, it doesn't smell like when you walk through the coffee aisle in the grocery store and you smell the roasted beans. I do love that, but that's a different smell than this. This is like, it's very like vegetabolic, and it's very earthy, but it's also toasty and smoky at the same time. Oh my gosh, you can smell it from blocks away. Whenever I'm in a city or around a roaster and someone's roasting, I can always smell it. It's a very specific smell. All right, let's give the beans a smell. Toasty, smoky, a little bit of like rootiness, like barkiness. I wouldn't say fruitiness. All right, we're at 8 minutes 30 seconds and the beans are at 350, so we're a little slower than I wanted. I really wanted to get to 370 and hear first crack at the 8.5 minute mark, but we got to listen to the beans. We got to do what the beans want. And right now they just want to take a little longer. So I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to keep my air cranked. I'm going to keep my airflow where it's at. I'm going to keep my heat cranked. I would have really liked to get to 370 before 10, but I've got to turn myself over to the beans. So 366, and we should start hearing first crack around now, hopefully. And if that happens around the 10-minute mark, I'm okay with that. Oh. Was that a pop? We're at 374 in 10.5 minutes. Oh, there's another one. Ooh, there they go. I'm going to call that first crack at 10:45. I'd really like to pull these before 12 minutes, but that's only if we hit 385. So we're going to keep cooking them. Oh, it's moving fast now. 383. 384. Almost there. 386. Jumped right over 385. I'm going to pull them. All right, they dropped at 11:15, which is where I wanted to be. Now we just got to cool them down as fast as possible, because they're still cooking. And so long as they're cooking, that means that I'm losing those fruity, juicy flavors. So I got to get these cooled down fast. But we definitely pulled sooner than I normally would. Normally I probably would have pulled these around the 14-minute mark. So that was a good fast roast today. They don't really smell fruity, but I don't think they would yet. Normally, the beans need a little bit of time to rest. around like 2 to 3 days as they degas. And then they'll kind of settle into those fruity flavors if they are there. But sometimes it depends on the bean. This is an organic bean from Colombia. And it may just be that this is not a very fruity bean, but we'll just have to see. Still hot. Pull out my bottom tray here. See if that cools them faster. There we go. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. They look pretty. Ooh. They're cooling down. All right, so they're cooled off. We pulled these at 11 minutes, 15 seconds at 387 degrees. So I'm gonna let these rest for a few days, and then we'll brew something and see if we achieved fruitiness. Oh, I'm so nervous, and I don't want to wait, but I know I have to. If I were to try them now, they might be sour and a little vegetable-y, and well, that might make me sad. So I'm gonna wait. Morning. Well, it's been about 2 days. I would have liked to wait longer, but I have a plane to catch, so we're going to try them. I have here a little iced Americano, nice and cool, so that when those flavors hit my tongue, I can taste them all without getting burnt. When I smelled the beans this morning, I wouldn't say they smelled fruity. In the same way that the ones I got in Chicago did. Maybe they need more time, but I'm beginning to suspect something else is going on. That being said, we got to go for the true test, which is taste. So let's go in for that sip. It just takes a little time. I mean, that first sip is a good 15, 20-second experience. And it just reveals itself more and more. First impressions, it's not sour, which is good. Because that's what I worry about with those quick roasts. There is some acidity, but it almost tastes, I don't want to say sticky because that sounds silly, but maybe sticky in the way that honey or caramel is. Let's go in for another sip. It's citric, maybe a hint of grapefruit. I wouldn't say it's chocolate cherries like the other beans that I tried, but that's okay. This is still a great cup. It is so good, but the goal was fruity. And I wouldn't say we hit the goal of the same kind of fruit that I tasted in those beans. I don't know what that could be. It could be the beans themselves. I probably need to research a little further and look at where they got those beans from. I know they trade directly with their growers. There's a lot of, Colombia is a big place. there's a lot of beans that can come out of there. That being said, this is a great cup. Now those toasty notes are revealing themselves. Oh, I'm so glad it's not sour. What this lets me know is that it is possible to roast hot and fast and pull sweetness out of a bean. And that's good. I'm still on that fruit journey though. Ooh. I'm starting to question if iced was the way to go this morning. I may have wanted a hot coffee because it's a little cool out here. Starting to get that sense that the summer is ending. And a couple of those leaves I was listening to the other night have ended up on the ground. Always comes a little faster than I think it's going to.